At 6 o'clock, we'll get our meeting started. Let's stand for the pledge. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America, to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. All right, I don't have a pastor to pray tonight, but it's kind of intentional. I would like to just say, with the current events, what happened this past week, I hate to think that the nation has got so much hate where no matter you agree with somebody politically, religiously, or whatever, how you could get enough hate to want to hurt somebody. So let's remember this nation and try to hopefully be positive. And it's all human lives, and it's families, it's dads, sons, whatever. It's and even with the stabbing in, I think, South Carolina or North Carolina, wherever it's at, but all that is just so much hate. So we have to make sure we're positive and try to make the world a better place. So let's pray. Lord, we thank you for your blessings today. I thank you for this great nation. God, I ask you that you'll help the healing to start, to help us that we can be a part of that. God, we ask you that you'll direct our court meeting tonight. Help us that we can do your will. Direct us and help us make good decisions. In Jesus' name, amen. All right, we'll call the meeting to order. All the magistrates here. Need approval for our August 19th meeting minutes. And everybody can turn their mics on. Motion we approve. Motion by Kevin, second by Brad. All in favor? All right, motion carried. Thank you. Okay, we move on to new business. Move to roads. Zach, your monthly report.
The crew has been busy with paving, repairing base failures, bush hogging, and bushwhacking. On the paving, we have completed Salt Creek Road, Bowers Lane, and Razor Lane. We've moved our blacktop equipment to Clear Creek so we can fix the bad spots once the plants open back up. And the base failures, we are doing repairs on Carmen Creek as of right now. And we did a couple of the base failures on Dixie Highway. I know we got to go back and fix some more, but we got to the worst of the failures. And on bushwhacking, we finished Watkins Lane and Bush Lane, and we'll be headed to Radcliffe Road next.
Yes, I've got some calls on Radcliffe Road, so we definitely, and we got two or three trees that David Lyons is going to cut for us. We're going to, just so the public knows, we're going to shut the road down from Hickory up to, what is that road?
Old Jericho Road.
Jericho Road?
Yeah, Old Jericho.
Old Jericho or whatever. And we're going to shut that down for a few hours one day there so they can work and the people can go around through Hickory so they still be able to move through. But it'll be safer for David cutting the trees and us doing the bushwhacking too. We're going to put signs out to.
Yeah, so I'll put a sign a week in advance before we close it off, and there will be a date and a time, and the time frame will be there when the work will start and then when the work will end.
All right, any questions for Zach?
We're finished with the paving, the special paving down.
Contracted paving.
The nights they're asking for the main thoroughfare to get paved, but we're done for the year for there.
Yes.
Thank you.
We're still going to do some more in-house patching, but not major. We're planning on getting Carmen Creek before the end of the year, but we want to get these dugouts done. We really need to get some rain on them before we pave over them because they'll settle. Trying to get some of that kind of stuff done, but they have started with the new milling machine and all that. They can lay it down pretty smooth, and So we can start doing some paving on these narrow roads and save ourselves some money. Any other questions? All right, thank you, Zach. Brad, y'all met yesterday, I think.
Yeah, we met, discussed pretty much what Jack went over, paving and then bushwhacking. And we talked about this fall and this winter, trying to keep the bushwhacker going if we got enough help, as much as we can. I did talk to Aaron, me and Zach talked about it yesterday again. I called him today on the spring and set up for the 550. He said that wouldn't be no problem. So if you want to go down and talk to him, or me and Zach, or whatever.
We will talk about that. One concern that we've got is somebody's going to have a license to spray.
Right.
So we'll have to get that done too, because there will be some liability involved there. But I think maybe that would really help. Of course, this year the Johnson grass has just been a killer.
Yeah.
Most years it's not quite as bad as it was this year, but yeah, I think if we get something to spray at Johnson grass with, slow it down, it would be a lifesaver.
And I don't think it'd be that expensive to buy a plastic tank and put it in a 550 and fix the arm on it. But that's about it. Everything's going good
One other thing
with the road department.
There is a grant from KCO for safety, for trying to keep your health safer. So Aaron Bruce is working on. We tried to buy a cage for the bushwhacking tractor and the mowing tractors, but we can't find a factory cage for those. So we're going to. Aaron's going to see about building us something. We're going to. They've got a grant where it's a 20% match. So for $2,000 we can get $10,000. So we feel like we need to try to get this grant. So hopefully we're going to have it ready by the end of the week and maybe try to make it a little safer on these guys, because that flying debris coming off that bushwhacker and those mowers can get pretty bad.
Yeah, that's a good idea. It's hard to find them already made for tractor. So Aaron could make one.
Probably cheaper anyway.
Yeah.
Any other questions? All right, planning and zone, solid waste, Jason.
All right, so last month we had 21 electrical permits, 16 building permits. The next Board of Adjustments meeting will be September 22nd at 6 o'clock in this building. And the next planning and zoning meeting will be October the 8th in this building at 6 o'clock. And then we got to do the second reading of the floodplain amendment that Cassie I was looking up last month that Cassie got to read it, but I think I'm stuck with it this week. So
We don't
unless
have to read
Travis
it
wants, you
again.
don't have to read it again?
No.
Hey, perfect.
Nothing has been changed.
I don't want to listen to him.
Yeah, I'm glad, to be honest, but so anyway, that needs to be, voted on, and then before everybody leaves, I gotta get signature. I gotta have it turned in because it has to be turned in by October anyway. The middle, but I want to go ahead and get it done, so.
We need a motion to approve that. It's the floodplain ordinance. Same one we had
I'll make a motion.
last month. Okay, motion by Brad, second by Carl. All in favor? All right, motion carries. Thank you. Anybody got any questions for Jason?
I'd like to answer your report for me, Jason. The last planning and zoning meeting you had, I was glad to see that it was approved that the old Graves Farm, the old Rabbit Hole property, the 145 acres, was zone change for a subdivision. It was subdivision. Right now, the taxes on that 145 acres is $870 a year. They're looking at doing 92 lots at at an average, I wouldn't even, this is low, $350,000. So that's a $32 million versus a tax base that the Henry County gets to use to build up their money. I thought it was a good move for the zoning to do that. Louisville Distillery, they've paying based on 25 million, and they're paying 287,000. So it's a whole lot of difference with this 32 million asset versus $870. The applicant submitted a very nice proposal. They had an attorney and an engineer. We do need to upgrade our comprehensive land use plan for that area. We're making motions based on 25-year-old maps. I think that it's time that we get that area upgraded on the map so we can try to make more of this property more valuable to the county. Some of the stuff that was asked of this company to put curbs and sidewalks, lights at the end of the roads, wider roads than what was figured, I felt like was probably not necessary, but it's nice to ask, I guess, spend somebody else's money. But I think it's important that we continue to grow. This is economic development. Like I say, 92 lots, that's 92 houses. When people move there, business will follow.
I agree on that, Roger. Myself, you know, when people come into your community, they're going to buy things in your community. They're going to, and not everybody, but there'll be more people to utilize the parks, everything. So I think it makes a difference to get those properties on the market and get the tax base raised on those. I've said, you know, even with Angels Envy, I know a lot don't like Angels Envy, but the difference in the tax dollars that comes in and you know, it's a legal product. I'll never have a drink. I've never had a drink and I won't start today. But that still doesn't mean that it's not, it don't benefit the county to have those tax dollars come in that we can use on other things. Any other questions for Jason? All right, thank you, Jason. Okay, we move on to Parks and Fairgrounds. Toby?
Yes, with the grass slowing down, we've been working on some of the wood fencing here at the fairgrounds and at the new park, getting some of the old boards torn out and replaced, and plan on going through those and getting them painted. We've been trimming on the trees out at the new park, getting all those shaped up, trimmed up, and getting those ready. All our fall sports has started up again. Soccer, football's still continuing, Little League, and cross country. So we've been prepping for those. Also, the splash pad will be next for getting it close to winterized, features taken down, the water lines blown out, and antifreeze and the winter caps in. Trailer treat will be coming up on the 17th, so we'll be getting the fairground ready for that. That's from 5 to 7. And on October 4th, Carl has a car show out at Harry Hill Park.
Right, any questions for Toby? Thank you, Toby, and I will say I was at the fairground or the ball field down here yesterday evening about 7:30, and you couldn't find a parking spot nowhere because that's the time between the games where you had 6 o'clock games getting ready to leave, 7:30 games starting, but the parks is getting utilized in a tremendous way. So I feel like it's good money spent to give these children something to do, and families. I mean, there was, you know, any given night, if my grandson's playing, there's 4 generations of us there watching, or 4 generations counting him, and I know the Bryants is the same way. I see 4 generations of them there, and there's a lot of kids, grandkids and great grandkids that's playing, so it's a good thing. All right, committee report. Paul?
I agree on the ball fields. A few times I've been out there, all 3 fields have been getting utilized, so there was a need for it. Yes, the meeting we had was October 4th, the car show. That is going to be to raise money for animal shelter vet bills. We'll advertise. We're hoping for good weather for both that and April 17th, a trail retreat. As far as equipment needs, he said everything's up good and running. We got 3 buildings we talked about last year. We're moving up here. Mike made decisions that they will be removed. They're not being utilized for nothing. Just kind of in the way. The park truck, we got a truck down with the park. Transmission's out, so I'm gonna work on trying to get him a replacement truck. Hopefully, road department can give him a hand-me-down, help the park out next season, hopefully. We're in the process of getting bids on a railing for a ramp. So hopefully get that done by the end of the season too.
Yes, they are working on the bids on the ramp, the rails on the ramp, so hopefully we can get that done pretty soon. I talked to Aaron about it yesterday, and he seemed to be interested in doing that, so hopefully we can get that done, because the ramp will be a whole lot better, than the steps, and it'll just look a lot better anyway. Yes, the lights on the ball fields, all those are working. Got that done last week, and got them worked on at the football field too. We was kicking breakers out there, so we changed some of the lighting to LED to not pull as much of a load. So hopefully that'll be better out there too.
One thing I didn't talk about, another the Suburban, the transmission's out of it. We're not gonna try to fix it, are we? And put it on KY.gov. It's got what, 500,000 miles? Okay. I didn't think, it costs $4,000 for transmission and that.
We'll move on to animal services. Danielle?
We had a total of 9 adoptions last month, equaling out to be about $1,700. We had donations of $1,747 come in, as well as fines and fees of $815, bringing out the total of $4,262 brought in by the shelter just last month. We have 25 dogs in custody at the end of the month. We had 23 out for the month. We had 9 adoptions, 8 rescues, 4 return to owners, and then 1 other. We do have several events coming up. We had just 1 event just the past 2 months. We've had 2 weekends of events at Trimble County Apple Festival, where we did have 2 adoptions, as well as the Trimble County over there in Tractor Supply in LaGrange invited us over for Farmers Market, where we also had an adoption done. So, and then we also have the Shamrock 3rd annual fundraiser that we're going to be participating in on October 18th. We have on October 12th the Bark and Wine at Richwood River, as well as the car show that Carl is helping to sponsor for us on 10/4. So if any questions about those, I would love to answer them, as well as we are going to be advertising for them quite a bit on our Facebook pages to get the word out. And we do have a dog that is getting pulled by a local trainer to help with training that came back to us because of lack of training. So we have them, they're going to donate their time as well as resources to take this dog in from the shelter and put almost $4,300 worth of training into him to get him adopted out for us and help us get him adopted.
All right, any questions for Danielle? Okay, thank you, Danielle. And I will tell you, we've been meeting with John Osborne, the judge in Trimble County, and we're working on the agreement between the counties. We're going to try to make that a little better, simplify it, and make it better for everybody. So we're working on that. It might take us a month or 2 to get that done, but we'll come before fiscal court and get it voted on from both fiscal courts. I think we can simplify a lot of things on that. So we're working on that, just so you know. Okay, next we move on to the sheriff's report, and the sheriff has got twin grandkids, and they're still in the hospital. One of them's been released, but his mom is back in the hospital tonight. So Keith and Angie is there with the kids, and so keep them in your prayers. Everything's going good, but we just need to get them home. So Josh is going to take care of Keith's part tonight.
289 calls dispatched by KSP, 111 calls called into the sheriff's office, 36 citations and criminal summonses issued, 20 criminal arrests, 8 warrant arrests, served a total of 149 court processes, transported 1 juvenile, had 1 special event with the schools, did 65 vehicle inspections, 7 carry concealed license, 1 DUI arrest, and 8 drug charge arrests for the month.
All right, any questions for Josh? Josh, I know they've got you all running it. It seems like every few minutes somebody set a fire somewhere, and the fire department is running constant. We got the burn ban in. Please, if don't burn anything, because it is too dry to be burning. But they are running. I mean, we got people that burning every day, and they had to just keep going back to the same people, that kind of thing. But something's going to happen if we're not careful. Thank you, Josh. All right, ABC quarterly report. Ed?
All fees have been paid. For this quarter, we now have 18 active licenses. Total revenue for the fourth quarter was $30,010, and I'm really pleased with that considering we've lost the tavern and the winery. Total revenue for the year was $113,520, closing out the fiscal year. That's down some from last year because of the winery and the tavern. So total revenue for alcohol sales in Henry County up to this date's $986,720. So we're getting close to that million. We will hit the million the end of this quarter. The quarter's ending on September 30th. We'll close that out, and everyone will have their fees paid by November the 10th. So we'll know by then. One addition to my written report, 6 Mile Distillery is finally opening after many, many years of wondering. And I've been real impressed with their postings on Facebook and their website, and I've purchased a ticket for a tour, a pre-opening tour. I'll be out there on September the 27th. So I have great hopes. I think they have they probably are going to surpass Chuck's Winery out there that closed. They're really gearing up for something great there. So I'm real excited about that. Any questions?
Ed, I've got a question, just to clean it up. You say the total revenue from alcohol sales to date is $986,720. Is that the total sales for alcohol, or is that the total sales that the county has received from the fees that we charge?
That's total that the county has received, and that's over a period of about 10 years, a little more than 10, but the first couple of years we didn't get a whole lot in. So if you do the math on that, total alcohol sales in the county would be about 16.5 million, and that's over a 10-year period, so that's about 1.6 million in sales per year. On average, you figure 18 businesses, that's about 91,000 per business per year. That's a lot of money. That's a lot of income. I feel like I have to mention the negatives on that too. You talk to the sheriff's department. I can show you stats that will say that it's a wash, that everything you take in goes out on the other end with law enforcement. And then there's the social aspects. You can talk to a social worker, and there's all kinds of social cost. But you can argue that both ways. You can argue that people are going to drink even if it's not available here. I know I had one owner of a liquor store who gave up his license because he was heartbroken about the alcoholics that came in and bought liquor from him every day. So, I see both sides of it, but bottom line is we're here, it's legal, and the county's making money off of it. So from that standpoint, it has to be a positive for us, for our budget.
Back when we originated this, there was an article in the Henry K. Local, December 23rd of 2015. And the current judge said, as far as economic development, I heard some people will say it will bring millions into the local economy. I seriously doubt that now or 20 years from now. We're 10 years into this. We're bringing $16 million worth of revenue into the county. That revenue, I think, would be creating jobs. It would be creating business startups. I think that you can argue the point that it's a two-sided coin, but for economic development, distilleries are moving in. It's just a really good thing for the county, just like subdivisions moving in, bringing the tax base up. So this county, I think, is moving forward, and we need to continue to.
Yeah, the way I look at it, most of the business owners live in the county. And economics, how that works, those dollars stay here in the community. They circulate. Those dollars buy gasoline and buy things from other businesses. So, it's got to be good for economic growth.
And I think you're doing a great job, too. Thank you.
Well, thank you. I appreciate that. Any other questions? Okay, thank you.
I don't have any questions, but I will say, that Ed is doing a tremendous job taking care of this. Him and Peggy both, they take it serious and do a good job. They're working on the ordinance right now too, and trying to get that streamlined a little bit. Some of the stuff that was put in there from the start that's not supposed to be in there, we're going to change some of that. So it'll all come back into fiscal court to approve. And but yeah, it is a good. Ed's doing a great job, and he kind of messed us up on. He kind of depressed us the time he got done talking about the law enforcement and all that. But Travis is paying the jail bill right now, and it's gone. Our jail budget is a mess this year. We had $350,000 for housing inmates in there, and we're going at the rate we're going right now. We're going to be right at $500,000 because we're paying over $40,000 a month right now. So hopefully that'll correct itself a little bit. All right, we'll move on to the next thing. The transient ordinance amendments for this is a second reading, same thing that you passed last month, and nothing's been changed. It's just a second reading. So if somebody wants to make a motion,
Yes.
okay,
The transient room.
the transient room tax. All right, motion by Ed, second by Carl. All in favor? All right, motion carries. And the next one,
Is short-term rental.
short-term rental property. Motion by Ed, second by Danny. All in favor? All right, motion carries. Thank you. Okay, next is the Henry County Tourism and Convention Commission reappointments. It's after the original ordinance were enacted in June of '24. The commission, as mandated, was named to begin work on this issue. It was composed of Kyle Stewart, Jess Malin, and A.J. Nelson as hotel motel representatives. Brittany Way is a representative for the restaurants, Holly Wilson, Chamber of Commerce, and My appointees was Jacob Beckley and Ed Frederick. They were randomly appointed for 1 to 3 year staggering terms to facilitate continuity. I'm going to reappoint Kyle Stewart, Brittany Way, and Ed Frederick for an additional 3 years because their terms have expired. So they only had 1 year term, so I'm reappointing them. So just need to make that public. All right, next is the acknowledgement of various county tax rates, and this is something that we don't really have any say-so in, but we just need to let the public know what everybody else's tax rates were.
So this is just a list of all the county tax rates. And so I'm going to go off of what they did, what they were and what they're going to. So for the ambulance taxing district, they stay the same at 6 cents per $100 for real estate and tangible tax. The Henry County Extension Office, real estate was 4 cents per $100. Last year their tangible was 4.46. It's now going down to 4.0. The health department stayed the same for both at 4.0. The library reduced from 8.7 real estate to 8.6. The tangible tax for the library went from 10.04 to 8.67. The soil conservation stayed the same at 0.89 for real estate, 0 for tangible. Fiscal court went from 10.3 real estate to 10.1. For tangibles, they went from 10.7 to 10.1. Eminent schools went from 66.9 up to 68.2. For real estate, they went from 66.7 to 68.2 for tangible. Henry County schools went from 70.1 real estate up to 71.7 real estate, and 70.1 tangible to 71.7 tangible. The Little Kentucky Rivershed stayed at 2.6 last year and is 2.6 again this year.
Right, like I say, we just had to make those public, so that's the different tax rates. Next, we go to claims and transfers. Okay, motion by Kevin, second by Brad. All in favor? All right, motion carried. Okay, next we have public comments. We allow 3 minutes per speaker. Anybody in the public want to speak? Yes, sir.
My first time here, not the best public speaker, so I'm going to read what I wrote. Do I got to turn this on? Okay. My name's Alex Taylor. I live at 1335 Russell Branch in Eminence, Kentucky. I live alone, and the trash I produce is minimal, usually 1 bag a week. For several years, I've used a private dumpster at my work without any problems or complaints. My waste has always been disposed of safely and legally, yet I find myself here tonight because one company, Rumpke, has a contract that forces me and every other resident into their curbside service, regardless of our individual needs. The issue is bigger than me. Rumpke currently charges around $80 every 3 months, even for residents who hardly produce any trash. By comparison, Shelby County allows residents to dispose of waste for about 4 cents per pound, which for me would be less than $5 every 3 months. Trimble County offers that service for free for residents, for their dump. These examples show that affordable, responsible alternatives are possible. What I find especially concerning is that just a week after I closed my account with Rumpke, I received a letter warning me that I would get a $10 fine a day unless I went back to them. That doesn't feel like a choice. To me, that feels like I'm being forced. The real problem is that Rumpke outbid all other competition to the point that their business has failed, and now Rumpke seems to have a monopoly on waste services in Henry County. In return, they can charge whatever they want and still win the bid. And that raises a fair question. How many bids did the county actually receive before awarding this contract? If there weren't multiple bids or if there weren't multiple competitive bids, how can we be sure residents are getting the best deal? There has to be a way for the average person, people like me, to avoid these high costs while still managing waste responsibly. I have been using a private dumpster since 2017, assumed others have done the same. To the best of my knowledge, based on representation from a Rumpke employee, some of your local magistrates don't have a contract with Rumpke for curbside trash pickup at their own residences. If our leaders have flexibility, then residents deserve the same fairness. If multiple providers aren't possible, then at the very least, Henry County should consider community dumpsters at designated locations throughout the county. This would give residents who produce minimal waste or who cannot justify the full cost of curbside pickup a practical and affordable alternative. In closing, I urge the fiscal court to consider opening the door for more flexibility. Competition or community alternatives would ensure fairness, reduce cost, and give residents control over how they handle their waste. The people of Henry County deserve more than one option.
Thank you. As far as the magistrates that don't have curbside pickup, they have dumpsters they're paying $80-something a month for. So they do have dumpster service, they just don't have curbside.
Do they own businesses?
Yes.
What business do you own? All of the magistrates. Yep. I saw a few of you did. Yep, I saw that.
Yeah. I don't really want to spare it. 230 yards.
Yep. Oh, I see. I understand.
Well,
What about Roger? So you have to either own a business, be a tenant farmer, or make less than $1,000 a month.
But it was bid out, and Rumpke bid, and Republic bid.
Two. They have a monopoly now. We have to do something to get the money back to the people. Like that. I got a letter saying I had to have Rumpke at $80 a month or $80 every 3 months. Can we not? I thought of this on the way over here. Could we not just offer a service where it's like every other week pickup for half the price or a reduced rate? I can't justify 12 bags of trash costing me $80. And neither can half the people in Henry County. We need to do something. That's all I'm asking.
Thank you. You had your time. Thank you. All right, any other public comments?
Something that kind of been a pet peeve of mine, and it may have already been done. Up here on the far end where the pavilion is, there's 2 restrooms up there. And if the doors are shut, it says men and women on them. But if they're open, and you may know, may have already done this, they don't say anything. I'd like to see a men and women sign put on the opposite side of the door, because usually they're propped open on account of the heat. That's all I got.
I will agree with you on that. I've almost walked in, and I've done it, I don't know how many times, still almost walked in the wrong one. So, yeah, we probably need to try to address that, Travis or Toby.
Night will be that off.
Yes, sir. Yeah, we want them in the right bathroom, don't we?
You know.
Yes, sir. Any other public comments? All right. Any court comments?
4-H livestock auction Saturday, it starts at 6. Like everybody
Yes,
should come get a good meal.
If anybody's able to come, if you can't buy a whole animal, you can go in, you can see some of these guys. What I always do is just tell them I've got so much money to spend, and tell them they can spend it wherever they want to on whoever's animal. And it raises a lot of money for the kids, and you will get a good meal from our best too. But it's a great thing for these young people.
They won't this year because they aged out, but they participated in that ever since it started, and it helps when you're showing animals, it costs the right mark for feed and equipment and stuff, and it really helps out.
Yes, sir. I bought one of their goats one year, like I needed a goat.
Right. Cemetery fund?
Yes, yes.
Yeah, the cemetery fundraiser will be October the 18th at my residence, 13788 Bethlehem Road, Lockport. Start at 12:30 and have tenderloin, fish, chili, all kinds of desserts, and we'll have a cake auction and pie auction at 6:30.
Yes, and that's a good thing. You can, designate the money for whatever. If you give $1,200 for Marianne's jam cake, you can say what cemetery you want it to go to, and they write it down. That's where that money goes to. So it is a great thing a great fundraiser for the cemeteries, and it's a good time. I'm telling you, you'll have a good time if you go. It'll be a live auction, a lot of excitement.
Just bring your checkbooks and stay till 6:30.
Yeah, yeah. All right, any other court comments? Okay, I'll take a motion to adjourn. Motion by Roger, second by Brad. All in favor? All right, thank everybody for being here.